increasing testicular function and production of testosterone in healthy males. I could go on and on and on.
Exactly. He could go on and on and on of just how effective G-test can actually be in the real world. But you know what it can't do? It can't replace a doctor-prescribed medication. Coach Greg, and in today's video, I'm being called out. What else is new? He discovered that I'm on and need HRT because of my abuse of steroids. You all know that. Abused steroids for over 10 years. And I went to the pharmacy here in Canada, and lo and behold, they ran out.
You guys want to know about healthcare in Canada? I'm on HRT, right, for 4 years. They don't have any left, and I can't get a doctor's appointment. Like, they don't have deletestrol left, so I can't get it. Call in to get an appointment. They're not seeing anyone till June.
And so he made a video to poke fun at Coach Greg for needing his HRT. But in the video, he states that I'm saying that my supplements don't work. After all, if they did, I could just start taking G-test. You know, stop taking my doctor-prescribed needed medication that I've been prescribed by my endocrinologist, of which I've been taking for years. And so that's proof that G-test, it doesn't work. Right? And so we're going to show this video where he makes fun of me the entire time, calls me a liar, curses, swears, and so on. Also, we're going to show the video where he outlifts Coach Greg. And so let's see, what kind of character or moral standards does this guy have? Is he a cool dude? Let's find out right now. Natural lifter without elite genetics, bench pressing more than Greg Doucette. And so that he's saying is that without the use of performance-enhancing drugs, while being 100% natural, and without elite-level genetics, you know, perhaps average genetics, the guy outlifted Coach Greg. Now remember, I have the all-time world record for my age and weight class in the bench press in the world record, and I'm ranked 8th all-time in the bench press in the world. But he is so amazing that even with below-average genetics, not an elite athlete, that he outbenched Coach Greg. And so let's see. Amazing. And so I can't tell exactly what's on the bar, but 5 plates aside, plus perhaps 2 10s on each side, that's equal to 235 pounds more than my 529-pound pause bench press, which is the world record. But here's the kicker. He's saying he does not have elite-level genetics. How many people do you know in the world can bench press over 500 pounds with shitty genetics? You can't go from having shitty or average genetics to bench pressing more than Coach Greg, world record holder, without amazing genetics. And considering he states he did this while being 100% natural, mind-blowing. Now, I don't know if he's natural or not. I don't know anything about this guy, but I do know that is a very impressive bench.
They don't have any left, and I can't get it.
Oh, that sucks, Greg.
Yes, it does in fact suck. If you have a prescription medication that you need from a doctor and you go to the pharmacy and they say, sorry, we're out, it sucks. I think that goes without saying.
And it's a prescription that I need, so what would you all do?
He needs it.
Yeah, I need it. It's a doctor-prescribed medication from my endocrinologist. For example, if you're diabetic, you might need insulin. If you have certain heart conditions, perhaps you need diuretics, statins, or beta blockers. You know, prescription medications that your doctor gives you because you need it. And so, yeah, I need HRT. And we all know why. My years of abusing performance-enhancing drugs, namely steroids. Does anyone not know that? Have I not stated in hundreds of videos that I, in fact, abused performance-enhancing drugs and was prescribed HRT because of this? That I am, in fact, not natural? Have I not been open about this?
Greg is in need of testosterone, so let's help him out. Let's go to his link tree.
And so he's saying Greg is in need of testosterone, so let's help him out here. Well, so far, so good.
Test booster. Oh, wow. Greg sells test boosters. G-test. Premium. This one's premium, so let's click on the premium one.
And so yes, G-test is in fact more premium than 3-test. It contains far more ingredients, more vitamins, minerals, and so on top of the main 3, which are Fedoji agrestis, Tom Catalee, Ali's favorite, and ashwagandha. You know, supplements that have been shown to improve testosterone in the real world.
We can't have Coach Greg, being without his test. So he can't rely on his elite genetics, right?
Well, I did in fact rely on my elite level genetics for the first 20 years of my training. You know, when I was 100% natural, winning Canadian titles in bodybuilding, setting records in powerlifting. But then guess what I did? I started abusing performance-enhancing drugs, got my IFBB Pro card, competed in professional powerlifting and bodybuilding. And you know what that did? It crushed my testosterone. And when I went off testosterone, well, what do you think happened? My test level tanked, 47 nanograms per deciliter. Not as low as Zaya Miranda, pretty low, below 50. Doctor said, well, let's see in 3 months' time if it in fact goes up. Went to 49. And so at this point, the endocrinologist said, I don't want to prescribe you this, but you need it. You need it. Of course it's your fault. You did this to you, but I still have to help you because I am in fact a doctor. And so, for example, if you smoke your entire life and you get lung cancer, the doctor's still going to try to help you. Even though it's your fault, you smoked cigarettes your entire life, you got lung cancer, doctor's still going to help you.
Oh, it's suggested to cycle G-test off 1 to 2 weeks after 4 to 8 weeks of continued use to prevent tolerance. Interesting.
And so he's reading some of the benefits of test boosters, and he does appear to be very impressed. But here's the problem. G-test is not a replacement for doctor-prescribed medication caused by some fault of your own where you abuse steroids. If you crush your own body's production of testosterone because you abuse steroids, this is not going to fix you. I don't believe for 1 second I've ever said that this is a replacement for HRT. If it was, well, we'd be putting pharmaceutical companies out of business. What have I stated in videos? I've stated, if you have low testosterone, the first thing you do is behavioral changes. Change your diet, lifestyle, eat more calories, stop trying to be single-digit body fat, eat from a variety of food groups, decrease your stress, and sleep more. The next step, supplements. Yes, you could in fact take G-test and or 3-test. And remember, these are not the test boosters of old. They hardly made any difference. But new research on new supplements have shown to make dramatic improvements, up to 200 to 400 nanogram per deciliter. This was discussed by Andrew Huberman on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Poorly absorbed ingredients, so we're increasing bioavailability, increasing testicular function and production of testosterone in healthy males. I could go on and on and on.
Exactly. He could go on and on and on of just how effective G-test can actually be in the real world. But you know what it can't do? It can't replace a doctor-prescribed medication. Before getting doctor-prescribed HRT, some people can benefit from things such as Clomid, HCG. They can sometimes increase testosterone levels and prevent you from having to use a doctor-prescribed medication for the rest of your life. Remember, HRT, it's for life. It's not a temporary solution. It's not a Band-Aid fix. It's something you need to use for the rest of your life. And so when I'm prescribed HRT and I go to the pharmacist, I expect to still have this medication. It's something I need. Imagine you're diabetic, you go to get your insulin, of which you need, and they say, sorry, we're out.
Greg sells test boosters, but he's whining about his TRT being out. Canada has no more TRT. He can't get an appointment for prescription for TRT.
And so for some reason, he finds it comical that I'm out of my HRT prescribed medication from my doctor, but that I also sell test boosters. I mean, the joke's a little bit over my head. Perhaps it's because I'm a 5'6" manlet, but I just I don't see the humor in this comparison.
He sells test boosters. If this doesn't tell you that shit is junk, what does?
Well, I'll tell you what would. If I actually sold testosterone, which I don't, and I was out of HRT in Canada, and I had testosterone myself and said, well, I don't know what to do, well, that would prove that my products don't work. But I don't sell testosterone. I'm not a pharmacist, nor am I a doctor.
The irony. This is amazing.
And so he thinks this is amazing. What's more amazing to me is that this guy thinks he can bench press more than a world record holder in the bench press while being 100% natural, and that doesn't mean he has amazing genetics. I mean, is that not an oxymoron? I have world record setting bench presses, but I have horrible genetics. How? Really?
He just admitted that his test boosters suck.
And so I'm saying that at best they suck, and at worst they don't work. Really? Did I say that? I'm pretty sure didn't say that. I don't mind making fun of me in videos and so on, but why is he lying about what I'm saying about my products?
He can't rely solely on his elite genetics. His top tier echelon genetics that he allegedly has.
And so no, I can't rely on my elite level genetics because I abused steroids, crushed my own natural production of testosterone, and now I'm undependent on HRT for the rest of my life. Get it?
Like, finding that part hilarious, his whole genetic spiel, and him always saying that he has elite genetics.
And so when I say I have elite level genetics, it's not to brag. It's in fact trying to be humble. Despite the fact I trained really hard, despite the fact I put in all the work, the only reason I was able to do what I accomplished is because I got very lucky with my genetics. Other people with average genetics, they could have trained harder than me, smarter than me, ate better than me, did it longer than me, but not even benched 405, possibly not even 315. But because I was very lucky, fortunate to have very good genetics, elite level genetics, as defined by the fact that I set a world record. You don't set world records in anything when you're average genetics. And so if you've been training very hard, doing everything right, and you can only bench 225, it's because you don't have amazing genetics. Don't feel bad about it. It's not your fault. You're trying your best. You just don't have elite genetics.
He sells Test Booster, and he's admitting that it doesn't work by virtue of him needing his TRT and whining about Canada and not being able to supply it to him.
If I were a diabetic, it wouldn't mean that my cookbook or training book wouldn't work. It could just be the fact that my body doesn't produce insulin. And so just because a test booster can increase your levels of testosterone doesn't mean it's going to be a replacement for doctor-prescribed medication. For example, GO2 Max, my #1 supplement, better than all others. Just because this can improve your cardiovascular health, it doesn't mean it replaces exercise. Just because you're taking this doesn't mean that you just lay back on the couch and do nothing. You still should be exercising. Do you agree? And so just because I say, hey, take GO2 Max and go and do your cardio, become a better butter burner, is he then going to make a video and say, oh, it's proof it doesn't work because he told you also have to exercise? It doesn't work like that. And remember, interested in G-Test, GO2 Max, 3 tests, please click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off.
I had no plans of making a video today. I just weighed in for my meet. I'm refeeding, rehydrating, but holy f*** all this, and this is absolutely fantastic.
Imagine sitting there hating someone so much that you're actually happy when they can't get the doctor-prescribed medication that they need. Now break his deadlift record. And so what is with this guy? He has to just make videos, try to beat everyone else. And so yeah, he bench pressed more than me. Congratulations. But clearly that means he has elite level genetics. Someone challenged him to break my deadlift record. And just because he can't break my Guinness World Record in the deadlift doesn't mean he has poor genetics. But certainly anyone that sets a Guinness World Record, you know, the most in the world, probably has elite level genetics. You can debate me if you want. You can say, no, you can just train harder, smarter, buy a certain program, eat a certain amount of food. But no, you need to have the God-given genetics to set world records. Subscribe, click the bell button. Can you believe this guy? Please write a comment, like the video if you liked it, watch one of the bloops, and of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, that Circle Diet book, the Harder Than Last Time clothing line. Don't forget to add me to the gram, Greg Doucette, IPB Pro. And until next time, I am out.